There is a place inside you that already holds every treasure you seek. You have been taught to look outward for abundance, for wealth, for riches. But nothing in the outer world could ever come into form unless it was first accepted and assumed within. Every millionaire who has ever existed did not become wealthy because they found money. They became wealthy because they activated a new self-concept, one that matched the energy of millions. That energy is not outside you. It is within you, right now, waiting. The secret is not in chasing opportunities, begging for success, or striving endlessly to prove your worth. The truth is still silent and infinitely powerful. You are not a beggar. You are not waiting for permission. You are the creator of wealth because you are the source of consciousness. The moment you recognize your inner world as the generator of your outer reality, everything changes. You stop playing the game of effort and start playing the game of imagination. And the only thing required of you is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. To live as a millionaire now, you must begin to think from the state of being a millionaire, not about it, not towards it, from it. When you think from a state, you no longer wonder how it will come. You accept that it is already done. It is already yours. And in doing so, your world reconfigures itself to mirror that internal truth. Millionaire energy is not hustle. It is not grind. It is alignment. It is confidence so deep that it moves in silence. It does not chase. It attracts. It commands the room not with noise, but with presence. You cannot fake this energy. You can only become it. And to become it, you must activate it from within, using the most powerful tool given to man, your imagination. Imagination is not idle fantasy. It is the divine instrument of creation. Everything you now see in your life, every penny, every person, every problem is the reflection of a previously held image. You imagined yourself into lack, into limitation, into doubt. Not deliberately perhaps, but consistently. Now imagine yourself into wealth. Imagine yourself into overflow. Imagine with conviction, with feeling, with repetition, and your world must obey. It cannot do otherwise. The secret is to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled until it feels natural. You must live internally as the one who already possesses what the world says you must work for. You must rise in the morning and know you are rich. You must walk the streets and feel the vibration of a millionaire in your breath, your bones, your stride. And it is not about pretending. It is about accepting a higher truth. The world will try to convince you that you must earn the right to wealth. But you were born with that right. You only have to remember. Do not ask how will it come. Do not beg for signs. Do not seek confirmation outside yourself. When you drop a seed into the soil, you do not dig it up every day to see if it has grown. You water it, you nourish it, you trust the process. So it is with imagination. So it is with your millionaire energy. You plant it through assumption. You water it with faith. You nourish it with feeling. And you trust that life will bring it into view. Many are trapped by time. They say, when I have more money, then I will feel rich. They delay their state of being, and in doing so, they delay the manifestation. You must reverse that pattern. You must feel wealthy now, even if your outer world contradicts you, especially if it does, because your outer world is simply a mirror. It does not create. It reflects, and when you change the inner, the outer must follow. It is law. If you want to activate your millionaire energy, start by seeing yourself as the version of you who already has it. Close your eyes and imagine waking up in your dream home. See the light flooding through your tall windows. Feel the silk sheets. Hear the sound of abundance in the silence. Walk into your designer closet. Smell the aroma of wealth. Taste the freedom. What does your day look like? Who are you now? Feel it as though it were real. Because in the world of imagination, it already is. You must saturate your mind with this new identity. Not once, not twice, but until it becomes your dominant vibration. Until the idea of lack feels foreign. Until you forget the struggle. Until your natural state becomes one of overflowing wealth. The world will catch up. The money will come. The opportunities will arise, but only in response to your inner state, never before. This is not about arrogance. This is not about delusion. This is about claiming what is already yours in the higher realm and allowing it to flow through you. There is a version of you already living the life you desire, and the only thing separating you from that version is your current self-concept. Change that, and everything else shifts. Reality bends to the image you hold of yourself. Speak differently. Think differently. Walk differently. Think not like the poor hoping for wealth, but like the wealthy simply expressing what they already know to be true. Do not wait for evidence. Create it in your imagination first, because the evidence always follows the feeling, never the other way around. You may say, but I have bills, I have debt, I have no resources. And I say to you, so did many who are now living in mansions and flying in private jets. They changed their energy. They changed their inner world. They refused to accept the story of limitation. And so their life was rewritten. Your story can be rewritten today, not by effort, but by belief, not by toil, but by inner conviction. If you keep rehearsing the old identity, you will keep reliving the same results. But the moment you begin to identify as wealthy, as powerful, as abundant, without apology, the world begins to rearrange to reflect it. It is not up to you to force the process. It is only up to you to remain in the state of the wish fulfilled. The bridge of incidents will appear. The right people will show up. The right opportunities will unfold. The inspired actions will be made clear. But all of it begins with state. Your state is the cause. Everything else is effect. Millionaire energy is calm. It is steady. It does not flinch. It does not doubt. It assumes its power silently. And when tested by appearances, it remains unshaken. That is your task. To remain faithful to the image you hold within, even if the outer world screams otherwise. Especially then, because persistence in the assumption, even in the face of contradiction, is the key to manifestation. Most people waver. They doubt. They react to the senses. But the millionaire energy within you does not react. It creates. It sees the world not as it is, but as it desires it to be. And it holds that vision until the world conforms. You do not need more knowledge. You need more application, more belief, more daring to assume. Because to assume is to act as if. And to act as if is to set into motion the very laws that govern creation. Right now you can close your eyes and feel yourself stepping into your luxury car, smelling the leather, gripping the wheel, hearing the quiet purr of a powerful engine. Right now you can feel the peace of financial freedom, the joy of spontaneous travel, the empowerment of generosity. And as you do, your subconscious accepts it as real. And what is accepted by the subconscious must express in form. It is a divine law. This is why you must guard your inner conversations. The words you speak in your mind become the seeds of your future. Say not, I am broke, or I can't afford that. Say instead, I am wealthy, I am rich, money flows to me endlessly. And do not just say it, feel it. Let the words sink into your soul. Let them take root, and the fruit will follow. There is no limit to what you can manifest, except the limits you place upon yourself. Millionaire energy knows no lack. It does not negotiate with fear. It does not shrink to make others comfortable. It expands. It radiates. It expresses the fullness of life, unapologetically. And you are here to do the same. Do not wait another day. Begin now. Speak your wealth into being. See your fortune in your mind's eye. Assume the posture, the tone, the rhythm of one who already has it all, because you do. In the higher dimension, it is already yours. Your only job is to bring your vibration into alignment with that truth. Every time you imagine the life you desire, and you do so with feeling, you are drawing it closer. Every time you persist in the feeling of wealth, even when the world contradicts you, you are reshaping the future. You are not subject to circumstances. You are the cause of them. Let today be the day you activate your millionaire energy, not with force, but with faith, not with striving, but with stillness. Sink into the version of yourself who already has it all. Feel the ease, feel the gratitude, Feel the joy, and let that become your new normal. Do not ask for signs. Become the sign. Do not wait for miracles. Live as though they have already occurred. That is the path. That is the power. That is how you unlock the vaults of abundance and walk freely into your richest timeline. You are not far from wealth. You are one thought away, one assumption, one inner shift. And once it clicks, nothing will be the same. Money will come. Ideas will flow. People will call. Opportunities will arise. And all of it will feel effortless, because it is responding to the version of you that finally woke up and remembered the truth. The millionaire energy is already yours. It has always been. It does not need to be earned. It only needs to be claimed. So claim it now, with your thoughts, with your imagination, with your unwavering belief, and watch as the universe bends to your vibration. It has no choice. You are the operant power, and it is already done. Feel it now. Let your entire being soak in this truth. Let every cell of your body align with this frequency. Walk into every room, knowing that you are not hoping for wealth. You are the embodiment of it. Do not allow doubt to creep in and steal your assumption. Doubt is the thief of all riches. You must hold your assumption in the face of silence, in the face of delay, in the face of contradiction, because your assumption, when persisted in, becomes reality. There is no need to concern yourself with the opinions of others. They may not see your wealth yet. They may still perceive you through the lens of your past, but their perception does not create your future. Yours does. And as you hold fast to your vision, they too will have to adjust their perception when the evidence begins to flood in, and it will. It always does. This is not about proving anything to anyone. It is about knowing who you are. You are not someone trying to get rich. You are wealth expressing itself. You are abundance in human form, and you must think, feel, and move accordingly. That is the shift. That is the key. You are no longer reaching. You are receiving. As you walk through your day, let your imagination run ahead of your steps. See the best unfolding for you. Hear your name being spoken in rooms of influence. Feel the weight of your success pressing joyfully upon your chest. Sense the confidence in your shoulders, the certainty in your voice. All of it is yours. Not later, not eventually, but now, if you dare to believe. When fear arises, do not fight it. Replace it. Override it with vision. Every fearful thought is just an old belief asking for release. It is not truth. Truth is what you choose to make real through persistent assumption. Truth is what you declare with feeling over and over until it crystallizes in form. Speak like a millionaire, not loudly, not arrogantly, but with calm assurance. Let your words be seasoned with certainty. Say, of course, money comes to me. Say, I always attract the perfect opportunities. Say, my life is proof of unlimited abundance. And say it until your entire being agrees. That is the practice. You don't have to wait for a sign to begin. You don't need a perfect bank statement to feel rich. All you need is a decision to feel now what you desire to experience later. And in this divine paradox, the future rushes to meet you in the present moment. Time bends to belief. Reality molds itself around your conviction. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you must be to turn it all around. The only thing missing is your unwavering identification with the version of you who already has it. And the moment you step into that version, the waiting ends. Creation begins. There are infinite realities, all coexisting now. In one, you are still searching. In another, you are wealthy beyond your dreams. The one that becomes your experience is the one you choose to inhabit through your imagination. You shift dimensions not by changing your location, but by changing your assumption. And you remain there through faith. So let this be your dominant assumption. I am a millionaire in mind, in vibration, and soon in form. Say it when you wake. Say it when doubt whispers. Say it when you look around and see the old reality trying to tempt you back. Say it with love. Say it with power. Say it until you become it. The journey to wealth is not outside you, it is within, and you already possess every tool needed to make the inner real and the outer respond. Your thoughts are seeds, your emotions are water, your imagination is light, and your belief is the soil. Cultivate wisely. There is a version of you already rejoicing in the overflow. They have seen your future and it is glorious. They are calling to you now, not to come and chase, but to rest and assume, to relax into the knowing that everything you desire is already accomplished. It is not a matter of if, it is only a matter of when. And the when is determined by your willingness to believe now. Let others chase, let others doubt, let others mock. You stay rooted, you stay sure, you stay in the vibration of already having. Because your only true job is to align. Once aligned, the universe cannot withhold what matches your vibration. It cannot resist you. It must reflect you. And the reflection will come suddenly, smoothly, and inevitably. You'll look around one day and see the physical markers of wealth appearing. The new opportunities, the unexpected checks, the perfect clients, the doors swinging wide open. And none of it will feel surprising, because you will have already lived it in your mind 100 times. Your job is not to worry. Your job is to imagine, to feel, to dwell, not on the lack, but on the vision. Millionaire energy does not entertain the idea of failure. It assumes success. It expects wealth. It walks through life as if the universe is its partner, and it is. And so are you. You and the universe are not separate. You are not at the mercy of chance or fate. You are the operant power, the cause behind the curtain. And the moment you decide to live from that awareness, your whole life elevates. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. So become the version of you that no longer needs to wish. Become the one who knows, who trusts, who claims, the one who walks in faith and speaks with gratitude for things not yet seen, because that is the essence of creation. Gratitude is the emotional signature of receiving. So give thanks now, not just for what you see, but for what you know is coming. Give thanks for the money on its way. Give thanks for the abundance circling you. Give thanks for the wealth that is already yours in the realm of spirit. Because gratitude makes the invisible visible. It pulls the future into the now. When you feel resistance, when doubt clings to your mind like fog, do not push harder. Go inward. Rest in your imagination. See your vision again. Re-enter the feeling, because the state you occupy inwardly is always determining what shows up outwardly. Not sometimes, always. Do not be discouraged by delay. Delay is not denial. It is refinement. It is life making sure you are aligned, that you are ready to receive the weight of what you've called in. Do not mistake silence for failure. Often the biggest breakthroughs happen just beyond the moments of greatest doubt. Hold the vision. It is coming. And when it comes, it will come in such a way that you will laugh at how simple it was. You will wonder why you ever doubted. You will realize it was never about effort, it was always about identity. The moment you became the version of yourself who could receive wealth, wealth had no choice but to find you. This truth is available to anyone, but it must be claimed. And the claiming happens in silence, in imagination, in repeated assumption. You must train your inner world to reflect the life you want, and the outer world will adjust to follow. Now breathe in, not just air, but abundance. Feel it moving through you. Feel the shift taking place. Feel the alignment clicking into place. You are not waiting anymore. You are not hoping anymore. You are knowing. You are receiving. You are becoming. And once you become it in consciousness, the rest is inevitable. Let yourself dwell in this state longer each day. Let it become your default setting, the place you return to even when distractions or doubts arise. Millionaire energy does not waver. It does not beg for evidence. It trusts the inner vision more than any outer noise. It is silent power, quiet certainty, grounded in an unshakable knowing that reality must mirror what you consistently feel to be true within yourself. Each time you feel the impulse to check your bank account, to look for proof, to stress over time, pause. That is the old you seeking comfort from the outside. But you are now tuned into a different frequency. One where wealth is not something to get, but something to express. So instead of looking for evidence, be the evidence. Instead of waiting for change, embody it. Walk as though you already have a fortune resting quietly in your account. Speak as if deals are already done, blessings already sealed, doors already opened. You are not faking it. You are awakening to a higher reality, one that always existed, but waited for your recognition. And it doesn't matter what anyone else believes about you. It only matters what you believe about yourself. You could be surrounded by people living in lack, in limitation, in disbelief, and still manifest wealth beyond imagination. If your internal state remains faithful to the vision, you are not limited by your past. You are not limited by your surroundings. You are not limited by your education, your resume, or even your so-called mistakes. You are only ever limited by your concept of yourself. But now you know. You know that identity is flexible. Self-concept is not a prison. It's a portal. Shift it and everything changes. So ask yourself often, who am I being right now? And if the answer is not aligned with wealth, with ease, with success, then return. Return to the inner image. Return to the inner feeling. Return to the inner feeling. Return to the state of the one who already has it all. This is your practice now. Not affirmations without emotion. Not vision boards without embodiment. But living in the state, moment by moment, decision by decision, thought by thought. And if you fall out of it, forgive yourself instantly and return. The speed at which you return to the state is what determines the speed at which your outer world transforms. See, the moment you activate this energy, life begins to reorganize. But not always in ways the logical mind understands. Sometimes it removes what no longer fits. Sometimes it creates space first. Sometimes it appears to delay only because it's creating a more perfect version of what you've imagined. But always without fail it responds. So you don't need to figure out the how. That is not your concern. Your job is to dwell in the state, to persist in the feeling, to trust the unseen. The how belongs to the universe, to life, to the creative intelligence that orchestrates infinite outcomes. You simply hold the frequency. Every decision you make now must be filtered through the lens of your new identity. Ask, is this how a millionaire version of me would think, speak, move? And if the answer is no, adjust, align, recalibrate. Because the more you act in harmony with that identity, the faster it stabilizes, and the more effortlessly your world reflects it. Let others worry about logic. You live in imagination. Let others beg for permission. You claim your inheritance through being. There is a stillness in you deeper than doubt, a knowing that transcends all appearances. And from that knowing, everything flows. You are not chasing dreams. You are claiming realities. You are not hoping to get rich. You are revealing the wealth that's already embedded in your being. And you do it all not by effort but by consciousness. Not by action first, but by assumption. Remember, the outer is always catching up to the inner. So when something hasn't shown up yet, it's not because it's missing, it's because it's forming. Stay faithful. Do not abandon your vision in the 11th hour. Do not speak the language of lack and undo all you've been building in silence. Remain unwavering. You are closer than your senses suggest. And in that closeness, in that final stretch before manifestation takes shape, comes the greatest temptation to give up. But don't. That is the test. That is where most turn away. But not you. You know now that the moment just before the breakthrough often looks like nothing is happening. That's the illusion. That's the challenge. And you overcome it by staying in the state, no matter what. Millionaire energy is patient, not passive, but patient. It acts when inspired, but never out of panic. It knows the deeper laws at work. It trusts the seed once planted. And it understands that the longer you stay faithful to the unseen, the faster the seen must align. You are training your consciousness to obey you. You are showing your subconscious mind what is true through repetition, through emotion, through vision. You are demonstrating faith, and faith always yields fruit. So continue to dream, but dream from the end. See only from the place of already having. When you visualize, make it real. When you speak, speak it done. When you walk, walk in the energy of fulfillment. Because you are not becoming rich. You are waking up to the truth that you already are. You are not seeking money. You are aligning with your true identity. And from that identity, all wealth flows naturally, easily, and in perfect timing. This is the power you've been given. This is the truth they never taught you. This is the way everything changes, within. And once it changes within, no force in the world can stop the outer from conforming. So allow the feeling to deepen. Let it become second nature to you. No matter what you're doing, washing dishes, walking down the street, lying in bed, return to the feeling of wealth. Sink into it like a warm bath. Make it so familiar, so effortless, that it no longer feels like pretending. It simply feels like you. And once it feels like you, it is you. And life will rush to catch up. Even when you are in a room filled with people who don't believe, people who speak only of scarcity, of recession, of limitation, you remain still inside. You become the presence that shifts the atmosphere without saying a word. This is the quiet power of the one who knows, the one who lives from the end, the one who does not need to shout or prove, because the truth is already vibrating through their being. The truth is, you've always had access to this energy. It was never locked away. It never belonged to a chosen few. It was never something you had to earn. It was always waiting for your recognition. The moment you stop identifying with the version of yourself that struggles and begin identifying with the version of yourself that thrives, you activate what has always been yours. The shift is subtle, but the results are dramatic. You may find people treating you differently, offering you more, respecting you more, not because they changed, but because you did. You will find money flowing in through sources you hadn't even considered. Opportunities appearing that seem too good to be true, but they're not too good. They're just the reflection of a new assumption. You do not need to try harder. You do not need to hustle more. You only need to become the version of you who receives with ease. The version who already lives in the dream. The version who no longer questions whether or not they are worthy of wealth. That question dissolves when you understand that wealth is not something to be worthy for. It's something you express from your divine nature. You were not created to struggle endlessly. You were not put here to suffer through life waiting for scraps. You were designed to manifest, to multiply, to expand, to create. And you create through feeling, through assumption, through being. The kingdom of riches, of success, of overflow is within you. So return there often. Make it your home. When the outside feels noisy or heavy, close your eyes and walk the halls of your mansion in your mind. Sit at your grand dining table. Run your fingers across marble countertops. Smell the scent of fresh flowers arranged by your staff. Hear the soft music playing in the background of your beautiful life. And dwell there, not as an escape, but as an act of creation. Every time you do, your subconscious accepts that image as truth. It doesn't question whether it's real. It simply begins to align your world to match it. This is the law. This is how all things are made, not by willpower, but by imaginative persistence. And if ever the outside feels discouraging, do not panic. Do not abandon your vision. That is the testing of your faith. That is the pruning of old beliefs. Stay faithful. Stay in the state. Even if it looks like nothing is changing, everything is changing. You just haven't yet reached the part where it becomes visible. The world of form lags behind the world of thought, but the world of thought is the source. So feed that world with confidence, with richness, with clarity. Starve the world of fear. Ignore the old voice that says, it's not happening fast enough. Fast enough for who? Time bends to vibration, and when you are truly aligned, things can shift in ways that defy logic. Someone may call you tomorrow with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Someone may offer to buy something from you you haven't even created yet. A conversation may lead to a collaboration that changes your entire financial future. You don't need to know the specifics. You only need to hold the feeling, because the millionaire energy within you is not random. It is intentional. It knows exactly what to draw in, and it will pull the exact people, situations, and amounts into your life to match the vibration you hold most often. So what are you holding? Is it doubt? Is it worry? Is it disbelief? Or is it gratitude, peace, confidence, joy, excitement, and certainty? Because certainty is the secret ingredient. Not certainty based on evidence, but certainty based on inner knowing. You must decide, it is done. It is mine. It is inevitable. And let every action, every word, every breath confirm that. Others may wait for results to believe, but you are different. You understand the process. You believe first. You feel first. You assume first. And you persist. You hold your vision long enough for reality to surrender to it. This is how miracles happen. This is how overnight success is really created. By someone who spent countless inner hours becoming the version of themselves the world would later call lucky. But luck is simply alignment that has been nurtured long enough to manifest. So nurture it now. Speak your new life into being, not with desperation, but with joy. Declare the promises of your inner world as facts of your outer world. Say things like, money loves me. I am a money magnet. Wealth is attracted to me because I am wealth. Not because you need to convince the world, but because you are reprogramming your mind to agree with your new identity. And it will agree if you're consistent. The subconscious cannot resist repetition. So give it new instructions daily. Visualize your life as already transformed. Listen to music that makes you feel rich. Dress in a way that makes you feel abundant. Speak with intention. Surround yourself with anything that reflects your new reality. Not because it changes the world around you, but because it changes the world within you. And that is where the outer world originates. There are no exceptions to this law. There are no special cases where it doesn't work. It is always working, and it is always reflecting who you believe you are. So make that belief magnificent. Make it bold. Make it rich, vibrant, unstoppable. Do not wait to feel good. Choose to feel good. Wealth is not just about numbers. It's about energy, and high vibration brings in high reality. So cultivate that vibration with care. Be joyful on purpose. Smile before the results. Laugh as if the money were already here, because in the unseen it is. The universe is already working on your behalf. The money is already en route. The connections are already aligning. The wealth is circling you like a plane preparing to land. You just have to stay in the right frequency, so it can find you. You just have to be home when the blessing knocks. So keep choosing to feel rich. Keep choosing to be the energy you want to receive. Don't ask when will it show up. Ask how much more can I embody it now? Because the speed of manifestation is directly tied to your ability to hold the state without flinching. And if you fall out of the state, get back in. If you doubt, reclaim your knowing. If you worry, return to the feeling of already having. This is your power. This is your practice. This is your way back home to the truth that was always waiting for you. The truth that you already are what you seek. The truth that the energy of a millionaire is not out there, it's within. Quiet, ready, infinite, patient, and waiting to be activated fully, fearlessly and permanently by you. Every time you activate it, even just for a moment, you strengthen the signal. You send out a vibration that ripples through the invisible layers of reality, rearranging the quantum fabric of your world. You won't always see immediate results, but you will feel the shift. That quiet confidence that begins to emerge. That unexplainable sense of peace, even when the numbers haven't changed yet. That is your proof. That is the inner knowing that everything is already in motion. This is the difference between hoping and knowing. Hoping is timid. It says, maybe one day. Knowing says, it's done. Hoping looks for signs. Knowing is the sign. And once you live from that knowing, people around you will begin to notice. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll feel something different in your presence. That's because you've activated something real, something eternal. Your energy has shifted, and the world always responds to that shift. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. You may have days where the old voice returns, whispering, you're not good enough, or who are you to be rich? But now, you don't argue with that voice. You simply observe it, and you choose again. You choose your identity. You choose your state. You return to the feeling of wealth, just like returning home after a long day. That's all this is, a returning, a remembering, because you were never really disconnected from abundance. You simply accepted a different story for a while, a story that said you had to wait, struggle, sacrifice. But that story is over now. You're writing a new one where you are the source, not the seeker, where you are the cause, not the effect, where you live in constant communion with the life you desire, because you've made it real within. This level of consciousness does not wait for proof. It becomes the proof. It shows up differently. It listens with intent. It moves with certainty. It expects goodness, not as a reward, but as a natural reflection of its state. And in that space, life becomes simpler, more fluid. Money becomes lighter, more playful. You stop needing and start receiving. You stop chasing and start attracting. You become magnetic, not because of what you do, but because of who you've decided to be. And that decision is everything. It is the switch that flips reality, not with force, but with quiet power. You could sit in your room right now, eyes closed, holding the feeling of being infinitely wealthy, and do more to change your life than years of action ever could, because action without alignment is struggle, but aligned action, that's divine. And when you're truly in this state, you'll notice that ideas begin to flow, not forced ones, inspired ones, sudden sparks of clarity, unexpected hunches, subtle nudges. The path begins to reveal itself one step at a time, not all at once, but just enough to keep you moving. And each step will feel like confirmation that you were right to believe, right to assume, right to persist. Even things you once feared will begin to lose their power. The fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of not being enough. Because when you live from the assumption that you already have everything you desire, those fears dissolve. They have no place in that state. You begin to realize that nothing can truly be taken from you, because everything is coming through you. And from this awareness, generosity flows. You give, not to get, but because you are full. You no longer clutch tightly to what you have. You know more is always on the way. You bless others, speak life into them, support their visions, and in doing so, you multiply your own. Because wealth expands when it's shared. Energy compounds when it flows. You'll begin to feel it in the smallest of moments. When you tip more than expected, when you buy something without checking the price, when you give freely without the story of what if I lose it. These are signs that your inner world is shifting. You are no longer living by old limitations. You are living from a new law, a law of overflow, a law of ease, a law of inner cause and outer reflection. You won't need to force doors open anymore. You'll realize you are the door. You are the channel. You are the channel through which wealth flows into this world. Not because you begged for it, but because you aligned with it. Because you recognized your birthright. Because you stopped doubting and started being. And yes, the world may not understand at first. They may ask, how are you so calm? Why do you walk with such confidence? What changed? And you may smile and simply say, everything. Because when your internal reality shifts, it changes everything. It changes how you speak. It changes how you negotiate. It changes how you show up. It changes what you tolerate. It changes how quickly you say no to anything that doesn't match your new frequency. Because now you understand you are always broadcasting, and the world is always matching. So you no longer speak lack, you speak life. You no longer dwell in what's missing. You dwell in what's arriving. You no longer tell stories of failure. You tell stories of favor, stories of abundance, stories that reinforce your state. Because every word you speak is either locking in your new identity or dragging you back into the old. So speak wisely, think powerfully, feel deliberately. You are always creating, whether by default or by decision. Let it be by decision now. Let it be with intention. Let it be with awareness that you are no longer reacting to life. You are selecting it. And as this awareness deepens, your manifestations will accelerate. You'll start to feel the time between desire and result shrink. The lag will dissolve. You'll think a thought and something shifts. You'll feel a feeling and someone calls. You'll write an idea down and the opportunity appears. Because now, there's no resistance, only resonance. And this resonance is what pulls your wealth to you, not in one lump sum necessarily, but in ways that surprise you, delight you, and stretch your understanding of what's possible. Because once you activate this millionaire energy, your job isn't to figure it all out. It's to allow the unfolding, to allow the provision, to allow the favor that follows your frequency. So now you stand at the edge of the greatest decision you'll ever make. Not a decision about money, but a decision about identity. Will you continue to live from the old conditioned self, waiting for proof, doubting your power, reacting to circumstances? Or will you step boldly into the version of you that already knows, already receives, already is the wealth you once sought? This is not just inspiration, it is a call to remember who you are, to activate the energy that has always been within you, to rise into your natural state of abundance, not someday, not when the numbers change, but today, right now, in this very breath. You can choose a new frequency, a frequency that magnetizes opportunities, multiplies blessings, and dissolves limitations. You are no longer waiting on the world. The world is waiting on you to show up in your fullness, to stop shrinking, to stop second guessing, and to finally own the truth. You are already the millionaire. You are already the source. You are already the vessel of infinite wealth, power, and creation. So breathe it in, feel it, know it, walk in it, speak from it, think from it, and let this be the moment everything changes, not because the world shifted, but because you did. Your millionaire energy is not coming. It's not on the way. It's here. Activate it today. The great secret, the eternal mystery, lies not in the stars, nor in the words of another, but within your own wonderful imagination. To live as if your wish is fulfilled is to assume the very feeling of the wish already accomplished. It is not enough to merely think about what you desire. Thought is shadow. Feeling is substance. You must feel yourself into the state of the wish fulfilled. You must become so inwardly identified with that state that it becomes more real to you than the world around you. That, and that alone, is the secret to manifestation. All things exist in the human imagination, and it is from this holy place that your world unfolds. You were told, "Whatsoever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye have received it, and ye shall." Therein lies the law. Believe that ye have received it. Not that you might receive it, not that it could come, but that it already is. This implies a shift not in your external circumstances, but in your internal identity. To believe you have received something is to act from the end, to feel from the result, to dwell in the satisfaction of having. And when you dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, all bridges of incidents, visible and invisible, will reshape themselves to make your assumption a reality. There is no power outside of consciousness. Consciousness is the one and only reality. You do not attract what you want, for wanting only confirms its absence. You attract, or more accurately, you create and express what you are conscious of being. The moment you say "I am," you begin a creative act. I am rich. I am loved. I am successful. These are not idle words. These are seeds planted in the soil of the mind, and as a man sows, so shall he reap. You must become so rooted in the consciousness of your wish fulfilled that even the facts of the world cannot shake your knowing. The world will try to persuade you that your dream is false, that your assumption is fantasy. But let me tell you, do not listen to the facts. They are merely old manifestations, echoes of former beliefs. What you see and touch and hear with the outer senses is the dead past. The truth lies in the unseen. When you see with the eye of imagination, when you hear what only you can hear in the silence, when you walk and talk and breathe in the atmosphere of your realized desire, then and only then are you truly alive. To the world you may seem mad, but to the awakened one, this is sanity. When I say to live as if your wish is fulfilled, I am not suggesting that you pretend. This is not pretense. This is inner certainty. This is communion with the divine within. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are aligning yourself with the God power in you. God speaks to man through the medium of desire, and the language of God is feeling. You feel your way into fulfillment. You do not strive. You do not beg. You do not chase. You simply assume the state and rest in it. It is a sacred knowing, a holy stillness. Many will ask, how long must I assume the wish fulfilled before it appears? And I say to you, time is an illusion. The only time that matters is now, the eternal now. If you persist in the feeling, if you live in the end, it must come to pass. All things must bear fruit according to their nature. If the assumption is persistent, the result is inevitable, but it must be felt in the heart. You cannot deceive your own soul. It knows what you truly accept as real. So test yourself. Are you reacting to the world, or are you creating from within? Are you dwelling in the facts, or are you living in the vision? You must turn away from appearances and turn inward to the secret place. There you imagine what you desire, as though it were already true, and then you give it the emotional tone of reality. Do not imagine for the sake of imagining. Imagine to the point of belief. Feel it as though it were happening now, and once you feel it real, Let it go. Let it gestate. Do not dig up the seed to check if it has sprouted. Trust the process. Remain loyal to your unseen assumption, and the seeing must conform. Your imagination is the creative faculty of God within you. You are the operant power. Nothing happens unless you imagine it first. Your life is a mirror, reflecting your inner state. Change your conception of yourself, and your world will rearrange itself in harmony with your new identity. If you would be loved, assume that you are. If you would be wealthy, feel wealth. If you would be healed, dwell in perfect health. No outer condition is stronger than an inner conviction. To live as if your wish is fulfilled is to act from a higher state of consciousness. You do not wait for evidence to believe. You believe and the evidence appears. You walk by faith, not by sight. You persist in the inner knowing. You hold fast to the end result. Do not be concerned with how or when. These are not your domain. Your work is to assume the end. The bridge of incidents will unfold naturally. All you must do is remain faithful to the assumption. You see, the law is always working. Every moment you are imagining something, feeling something, assuming something, and that which you consistently feel yourself to be, you become. Your assumptions harden into fact. If you live in fear, fear will manifest. If you live in lack, lack will grow. But if you live in the joy of fulfillment, if you dare to claim your desire as now true, the world must respond. It has no choice but to mirror the consciousness you entertain. What is it that you desire? Go within and ask yourself this. Not what the world says you should want, not what others expect of you, but what stirs your soul, what image quickens your spirit. That is your true desire, and the moment you identify it, the moment you feel its reality, the law goes to work. You have sown the seed. Your work now is to water it with faith and joy. Do not contradict it with worry. Do not doubt the unseen. Simply rest in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and let the power that knows all bring it to pass. Imagination is not idle fantasy. It is the shaping force of reality. When you imagine lovingly, when you see yourself through the eyes of your fulfilled desire, you are engaging in a divine act. You are calling forth that which is not yet seen, and clothing it in flesh. The world responds to inner vision, not outer effort. The one who labors in imagination achieves more than the one who toils with his hands. Work, if it flows from the state of fulfillment, will be joyful and inspired. But never act to make something happen. Act because it has already happened within. There is a subtle but powerful difference between doing to get and doing because you have. The former is effort. The latter is expression. When you live from the end, you do not strive. You give, you radiate, you move with purpose, because you are already there in consciousness. This is the life of the mystic, the visionary, the one who knows the truth of being. You may say, but I have not seen any evidence yet. And I tell you, do not be troubled by the outer world. It is delayed echo. Persist in your assumption. Feel the end again and again, until it becomes natural. The more natural it feels, the closer it is to manifestation. Everything begins in the imagination. That which you see in your mind's eye, accompanied by the feeling of reality, will externalize in your world. Let nothing disturb your inner vision. Let no fact, no appearance, no condition shake your belief. Remain faithful to the unseen reality, and the seen will change. This is the law, and it does not fail. What you truly accept as true will come to pass, not because you forced it, but because you felt it real. Your feeling is the secret. Your assumption is the engine. Your imagination is the portal through which your heaven is revealed. Let your dreams be bold. Let your desires be grand. For nothing is too great for the power within you. The power that created the stars lies in you. You are not separate from the Creator. You are a creator. The very essence of God is imagination, and it is through imagination that you create your world. Live not in fear. Live not in waiting. Live in fulfillment. Claim it, own it, walk in it, speak from it. The voice of the wish fulfilled is calm. It does not plead. It does not beg. It affirms. It declares. It knows. Begin now to speak and think and feel from the end. See yourself as already possessing what you desire. Hear congratulations from loved ones. Feel the relief of success. Taste the sweetness of the dream realized. Do it now in this moment, and do it again and again, until your mind and body know no other reality, until it feels like home. This is how you move from desiring to having, from lack to abundance, from delay to realization. The moment you shift within, the outer must follow. You do not need to wait for permission. You do not need to earn it. You simply assume it. You take it as yours. The law is impartial. It does not care whether your assumption is true or false, good or bad. It simply brings to pass what you persistently accept as real. So let today be the day you stop chasing. Let this moment be the turning point. Enter the state of the wish fulfilled now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances change, but now, for now is the only moment that matters. Now is the door to eternity. Now is the time of manifestation. The secret has always been the same. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feel it real. Live from the end, and the world will conform, not because you forced it, but because you created it within. Let no one, not even your own reasoning mind, talk you out of your assumption. The rational part of you may say, but look at the facts. The bank account is still empty. The person is still gone. The opportunity hasn't arrived. And yet what is seen was made by the unseen. Everything begins as a state of consciousness. So if you persist in the unseen reality of your desire, if you remain loyal to that which cannot yet be touched or proven, you will watch the outer world reshape itself to reflect the inner conviction. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not a fleeting emotion. It is not a temporary escape from present conditions. It is a new dwelling place. It is a home you return to again and again, until the world around you cannot help but mirror it. When the senses scream otherwise, when appearances contradict your vision, that is the moment of testing. That is when your faith is forged. And faith is not blind. Faith is imagination tethered to conviction. You are not pretending. You are creating. You are stepping into a state that already exists in the vast eternal now. Every possible state exists. You are not fabricating it. You are selecting it. You are moving your awareness into that place where your desire is fulfilled. And by dwelling in it consistently, you make it manifest. What you accept as true will outpicture itself in due time. This is the divine drama, played out within the soul of man. You are both the author and the actor. You write the script with your assumptions, and then you live it out in the theater of the world. And the beautiful thing is this: the moment you assume a new state, all things necessary for its fulfillment begin to move. People, circumstances, ideas. Everything aligns itself with your assumption. But you must not concern yourself with the movement. You only maintain the end. You remain faithful to the vision. If the desire is for love, do not look for the person. Do not seek or yearn. Instead, feel the joy of already being loved. Feel the warmth of companionship. Walk through the world as one who is cherished, admired, adored, and you will find that love in the perfect form arrives, often in the most unexpected ways. If the desire is for wealth, do not chase after money. Instead, live in the consciousness of abundance. Pay your bills in imagination with joy and gratitude. Feel yourself free, prosperous, unburdened. The outer must respond, for the law is always working. You must become emotionally involved with your ideal. That is the key. Emotion is the bridge between the seen and the unseen. Cold imagination produces no results. But when you add the warmth of feeling, the intensity of conviction, the power of belief, then the scene becomes alive. It begins to move. It begins to draw unto itself all that is required. You are the magnetic force. You are the light that calls things out of the darkness. Nothing comes to you from outside. It comes through you, from the state you dwell in, from the self you believe yourself to be. Live as if. It sounds so simple, and it is, but it requires discipline. It requires awareness. It demands that you rise above your senses, that you claim dominion over the facts, that you see not with the eyes of flesh, but with the eye of faith. Every morning, when you wake, before the world rushes in, assume the feeling. Start the day in the end. Hear the sounds of success. Feel the embrace of fulfillment. Breathe in the atmosphere of your dream come true, and carry that mood with you throughout the day. Let it inform your actions, your thoughts, your speech. When doubt arises, as it often will, do not condemn yourself. Simply return. Gently, lovingly, bring yourself back to the state. Remind yourself that imagination creates reality. Remind yourself that feeling is the secret, and re-enter the scene. Do not strive to make it happen. Let it happen through your inner acceptance. Let the vision gestate. Let it grow in the womb of your mind. And one day, when you least expect it, you will find yourself living in the very thing you once imagined. This is how all things are created. Nothing ever happens by chance. Coincidence is but the visible side of the invisible law. The world calls it luck, fate, fortune. But the awakened one knows better. He knows that the cause lies within. He knows that every condition is the result of an assumption long held, and therefore, he takes control. He becomes deliberate. He chooses his state consciously, and he returns to it again and again until it is his natural dwelling place. To live as if is not to fake it. It is to faithfully occupy a state of consciousness. It is to make that state more real than your current experience. It is to look beyond appearances, beyond time, beyond logic, and to see with the inner eye, to see and feel and accept what is not yet visible, but is nevertheless true. That is the art. That is the secret. And once it is mastered, the world becomes clay in your hands. You are not here to suffer. You are not here to struggle. You are here to express the fullness of your divine nature. You are here to create, to expand, to give shape to the invisible. Your desires are divine instructions. They are the voice of God whispering to you of what is possible. And when you honor them, when you feel them real, you are worshiping in the highest sense. You are saying yes to life. You are saying yes to the power within. Many will tell you to be realistic. They will tell you to accept things as they are. But I say to you, accept things as you want them to be. Live not from circumstances, but from vision. Do not conform to the world. Transform it. And you do so by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That is how the old self dies, and the new self is born. That is how you move from lack to plenty, from loneliness to love, from sickness to health. The change will be effortless, for it is not you doing the work. The power that created all things will move through you, once you yield to it, once you surrender to the feeling, once you let go of control, and allow yourself to be carried by the current of your assumption. The outer will transform. Miracles will become normal. Synchronicities will abound, and people will ask, how did this happen? And you will smile, for you will know it happened when you lived in the end, when you made the unseen more real than the seen. To live as if your wish is fulfilled is to live in the Sabbath. It is to rest, knowing that it is done. It is to be at peace, to move with grace, to no longer fight or strive. It is to say, I and my desire are one. And from that union, all things are birthed. This is the marriage of the Lamb. This is the divine romance. When you fall in love with the feeling of your dream come true, when you become one with it in consciousness, then it must appear in form. It cannot be otherwise. The law is perfect. Even when nothing seems to be happening, something is happening. The seed is germinating. The path is forming. The people you need are being drawn to you. The way is being made straight. You may not see it yet, but feel it. Know it. Trust it, and continue to live from the end. Continue to act as one who already is. Do not explain yourself. Do not defend your vision. Simply be. Let your assumption be your shield, your sword, your sanctuary. Let the inner conviction be your only truth. The most powerful thing you can do is nothing. If that nothing is the resting in the state of the wish fulfilled, the outer world will try to tempt you back into effort, back into fear, back into waiting. But remain still. Remain certain. Remain faithful to the unseen. For the unseen is the womb of creation, and all things emerge from it. Every man who has ever achieved anything, whether he knew it or not, lived in the end. He saw what no one else saw. He believed when there was no evidence. And by doing so, he changed the world. You can do the same. You are doing it now. With every assumption, every emotion, every inner dialogue, you are shaping reality. So why not choose the best? Why not dwell in the state of your highest vision? Why not claim your inheritance now, and live as the one who already has? This is not fantasy. This is truth. And when you make this your way of being, when you make the feeling of the wish fulfilled your home, your entire life will become a testimony to the power of imagination. Do not wait for the world to change before you change your inner conversations. It is your inner conversations that create the world. If you persist in talking to yourself as one who has already received, if you repeat inwardly the words you would say, if your desire were now fact, then that assumption becomes a command to the subconscious. And the subconscious, which never questions, always yields. It rearranges the circumstances, compels people to play their part, and constructs a bridge of incidents that leads you to the fulfillment of your dream. So be careful what you entertain within. Watch your self-talk. Most people unknowingly sabotage their own desires by continually affirming what they do not want. They speak of delay, of difficulty, of doubt, and then wonder why their lives do not change. But the one who understands the law knows better. He speaks as one who is already victorious. He praises before he sees. He blesses what has not yet appeared. And in doing so he calls it forth. The world is a mirror, reflecting your state of consciousness. If you do not like the reflection, you do not smash the mirror. You change the image within. You change your concept of self. You assume a new identity. And that identity brings with it a new reality. You cannot consistently think and feel as a poor man and live as a rich one. You cannot feel unworthy and receive love. Your state must match your desire. That is why you must live as if. You must become it in consciousness. And the world will confirm your new identity. This is not about arrogance. It is about alignment. It is not about pretending to be better than others. It is about recognizing that all things are possible to the one who believes. And belief is not passive. It is an active participation in the unseen. It is a decision to dwell in a reality others may not yet see. You are not asking life to bless you. You are blessing life with your assumption. You are the one with the power. And when you own that power, humbly and fully, the world yields to your inner authority. Feel the joy now. Feel the satisfaction, the peace, the relief. These are the signs that you are living in the end. When you feel it real, when the desire no longer feels like a longing but like a fact, then you are dwelling in the right state. Do not look for signs. Do not search for validation. The sign will follow. The world must reflect the inner change, but you do not wait for it. You live in it now. You speak from it. You feel from it. You rest in it. This is the discipline of a master. To remain unmoved by appearances. To dwell in the unseen with such certainty that the seen must conform. And yet it is not a harsh discipline. It is a joyous one. It is the art of inner alchemy. You are transmuting thought into form, desire into experience, feeling into fact, and all of it takes place within you. The kingdom of heaven is within. The creative power of God is within. Imagination, feeling, assumption, all of these are the tools of the divine within man. If you find yourself slipping into old states, forgive yourself quickly. Do not dwell in guilt or regret. Simply return. Reclaim the feeling. Reassume the end. You are not starting over. You are resuming your rightful place. Every moment is a chance to begin again. Every breath is a portal to a new state. So do not condemn yourself for forgetting. Simply remember and feel anew. There is no one to change but self. No condition to fix. No person to convince. Everything changes when you change your concept of yourself. And your concept is not a statement you repeat. It is the feeling you live in. It is the atmosphere you carry. That is why you can smile before the evidence appears. That is why you can celebrate in the silence. Because you know the truth. It is already done. It is already yours. And your world is simply catching up. Imagination is not a mere fantasy. It is the creative force of the universe. When you imagine something with feeling, you are giving it life. You are impressing it upon the formless substance of reality. And that impression must take form. It must externalize. But it does so in its own perfect way, and in its own perfect time. So you must trust the process. You must remain faithful, not to the method, but to the outcome. Ask yourself, what would it feel like if it were true? Not how will it happen, or when will it come? Those questions bring you back to doubt. They bring you back to the old state. But the question, what would it feel like? That is the golden key. That question opens the door to a new reality. And once you feel it, once you taste the joy of fulfillment within, you are on the path. You have begun the movement. The seed has been planted. And all you need to do now is water it. With attention, with belief, with love. Let the feeling grow. Let it become familiar. Let it become your new normal. And one day, effortlessly, the outer world will reveal what you have long seen in the inner world. And you will not be surprised. You will simply smile and say, of course, it was always mine. In conclusion, living as if your wish is fulfilled is not merely a technique or a fleeting practice. It is the essence of understanding who you truly are and the power that lies within you. You are not a passive observer of your life. You are the creator, the architect, the one who shapes your destiny with every thought, every feeling, every assumption. The secret to manifesting your desires lies in this: you must live as though it has already happened. Feel it, see it, own it. When you do, the world has no choice but to align itself with your inner vision. The law is simple yet profoundly powerful. As within, so without. Your outer world can only reflect what you have already created within. The moment you embrace this truth with unwavering faith, you step into a realm of limitless possibility. You are not bound by circumstances. You are not limited by time, space, or reason. You are the living expression of divine creativity, and your desires are the whispers of your higher self, guiding you to what is already yours. So take this truth to heart. Live as the person you are becoming, not the one you've been. Walk, talk, think, and feel as if your dream has already manifested. And in doing so, you will see that the world must bend to your will. It must give way to the power of your assumption, the strength of your belief, and the purity of your conviction. The universe is not outside of you, it is within you. And when you harness this truth, when you understand that your imagination is not just a tool for escape, but the very fabric of creation itself, then there is no limit to what you can accomplish. You are the dreamer, the creator, the wish fulfilled. And by living from that state, you will watch as the world around you transforms in ways more miraculous than you ever imagined. Remember, it's not about waiting for things to change. It's about changing within, and watching as the outer world reflects the beauty, the abundance, and the love you already possess. Live as if your wish is fulfilled, and the world will conspire to make it so.